Her past. Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor. Delving into the past of Harry's wife was interesting. There's much that is yet to be uncovered, and something called quiz.com and somebody called Ashley Les has provided us with photographs that apparently provide us with a look into Harry's wife's life. The individual writes, Harry's wife was very much a celebrity. Well, that's debatable, before her relationship with Prince Harry. But it seems that since her rise and fall from royalty, people want to know more about her. What was her childhood like? Why is she estranged from most of her family? Well, you all know the answer to that as a consequence of my work, don't you? Did she and Prince Harry plan to leave the royal family even before the wedding? These are all questions people have been dying to know, and we want to provide answers. So buckle up as we shine some light on Harry's wife's life. According to this, Harry's wife was born August 4th, 1981, which of course is something many people contest, and that she was born in Los Angeles to Thomas Markle and Doria Ragland. Since she was born, Harry's wife had always been close to her father. Tom Markle worked in the entertainment industry as a lighting director and even won a few Emmy Awards for his work. This would later help Harry's wife get her foot in the door in Hollywood, not that of course she showed any thanks towards him for doing so. Harry's wife's father, Tom, was married once before marrying Harry's wife's mum. He had 2 children from that marriage, including Samantha. She is 17 years older than Harry's wife, and reports have said that they were never really close. That, of course, is as a consequence of the age gap, but also of the fact that Harry's wife can never be close to anybody as a consequence of her narcissism. When Harry and Harry's wife announced their engagement, this article tells us, Samantha told the press that she and Harry's wife do not keep in touch, and she was planning to write a tell-all book titled Diary of Princess Pushy's Sister. Harry's wife's mum, Doria Ragland, has always been a huge part of her life. We know that's bullshit, and this is starting to have the width of a propaganda piece, of course. We know that Doria Ragland was missing for a considerable part of Harry's wife's life, part of the reason why her narcissism came to the fore. Harry's wife is seen giggling with her mom as a baby, and we can see where she got her good looks from. You have to say that she wasn't the bonniest of babies. Before proposing, Harry asked Doria's permission. Notably, of course, he didn't ask Thomas's because that Harry's wife had smeared her father, meaning that Dumbo Harry swallowed all of that poison and deemed that it wasn't appropriate to get in contact with him. But here it's explained that Harry asked Doria's permission, and of course she said yes. This was a sweet gesture, and her mum appreciated being included in the process. Well, she would do, of course. Being a narcissist demonstrated that Harry was under control as a non-intimate secondary source in Doria's fuel matrix. Growing up, Harry's wife was very close to her family. The article contradicts itself because already it said it wasn't particularly close to Samantha. She had 2 brothers and 2 half-siblings from her father's previous marriage. Since her family has always been so close, they were wary of her marrying into the British royal family. When she first went public with Prince Harry, her family and friends were concerned by the media storm she was being swept up into. They all had extreme opinions about her marriage. Harry's wife's father, Tom, before she was born, won $750,000 apparently in the lottery, and that helped their family in many ways. The money helped Harry's wife attend the best schools in Los Angeles and get the best training. She was determined to pursue her dreams, and her parents wanted her to reach those goals. Apparently, Harry's wife was always smiling as a child, and at 6 years old was attending Hollywood Little Red Schoolhouse. Stars like Judy Garland and Elizabeth Taylor attended that school back in the day. Again, her attendance was secured by her father, not that she showed any particular concern for him in that regard. Apparently, the school had a vegetable farm where students would help tend it, and they were used in school lunches. Fascinating. Since Harry's wife's half-siblings were so much older, they started having children while Harry's wife was still a young girl, and she's pictured with her nephew at one point. Despite being close to her half-brother, her half-sister Samantha had some choice words to describe Harry's wife. Samantha called Harry's wife a social climber, who always had her sights set on becoming a princess. We don't know what happened between the two of them, but someone seems a bit jealous. Again, you can see that it's probably a sugar publication coming out with that kind of crap, and they mean envious, not jealous. As I've repeatedly explained, jealousy is where you're jealous of losing something. A dictator is jealous of their power. They don't want to lose it. An insecure individual is jealous of their girlfriend. They don't want to lose them. However, you're envious of your neighbour's car. You're envious of the success of a sibling. Apparently, Harry's wife always had a love for the performing arts, and photographs show her dressed up with a music note on her shirt for a school show. Before Harry's wife had a huge platform, she was already fighting for equal rights. Bringing up the past again. At 11 years old, she saw a commercial for, dear me, Ivory soap that said women all over America are fighting against greasy pots and pans. Harry's wife wrote a letter to Nick News and was featured on a segment because she led a campaign to change the phrasing of the Ivory soap commercial. As a child, and still to this day, Harry's wife is adamant about giving back to her community, only because it manages the facade, of course. As a child, her parents would take her to visit hospice parents and deliver meals to them on Thanksgiving. Harry's wife also travelled to Jamaica. Really? No, she did it of her own accord. And remote parts of the world with her mum to see how other people lived. It helped her to understand the privilege that she had as a child and moulded her into the, compassionate person she is today. All bullshit, of course, all part of this sugar publication. Maybe she was preparing for all the future movies where they give out free popcorn. Apparently, where she's holding the popcorn, she looks like a cool 90s kid, with her oversized Disney shirt, acid-wash jeans and big hair. Since those trends are coming back into style, we wonder if she's creating some of her childhood outfits today. Oh dear, tedious bullshit, isn't it? Apparently in high school, Harry's wife had many friends who loved her. Really? And there's a picture of her with one of her childhood friends as they smile big for the picture. Of course, we all know what she's done with her childhood friends, kept them on the shelf or in some instance disengaged from them. Apparently, she won Homecoming Queen, which you'll have loved, but she was also nominated for Prom Queen but didn't win, which will have wounded her. Apparently, her friends commented about how inspiring she was with her work for the UN and other philanthropic organisations, or rather, that's what she wanted from them. Owing to the fact that her father worked as a lighting director or married with children, Harry's wife and her friends were able to visit the set, and she got a photo taken with Ted McGinley, who played Jefferson Darcy. Harry's wife loved to visit the sets her father was working on because she'd always hoped to be the star of a TV show one day. Naturally, magical thinking. It's a good thing, the author writes, she never gave up on those dreams. Harry's wife must have been canvassing her future home when she and a friend took a trip to Europe when they were 15 years old. They posed outside of Buckingham Palace, despite, of course, as we know, Harry's wife knowing nothing about the royal family and positively knowing nothing about Harry or anybody else. Harry's wife's friend Naki Pretty said she wasn't shocked by the engagement, and it was like Harry's wife had been planning this her whole life, despite, of course, the fact that Harry's wife maintains that she didn't, and that she knew nothing about the royal family. More arse-lickery in this publication, which states, whilst most people go through awkward phases in middle or high school, Harry's wife was the exception. Oh, of course she was. She got her first crown as Homecoming Queen, and she's radiating beauty in the picture. She must have been preparing for the royal life when she ran for Homecoming Queen. Apparently, it's unclear when their relationship started to deteriorate, but Harry's wife and her father Tom were still very close into her teen years. Her father was always doing whatever he could to support her hopes and dreams, not that it's got him anywhere. When Harry and Harry's wife announced their engagement, Tom and Harry's wife's mother said, "We're incredibly happy for Harry's wife and Harry. Our daughter has always been a kind and loving person." Well, they don't know her particularly well then. Harry's wife attended Northwestern University, where she studied theatre and apparently international studies. In 2003, she graduated with a Bachelor of Arts degree. Apparently, she had an exciting college experience as she studied abroad and worked on merry charity projects. During college, she had an internship at the American Embassy in Buenos Aires, and she studied for a semester in Madrid. Apparently, she made the most out of her 4 years at school. Then there's a picture of her showing, of course, the nature of her flirting with, I think it's actually the maitre d' of a restaurant. But here, the arse-licking author just states, "We don't know who this lucky man is, but this photo was taken as she and her friends were celebrating their college graduation in 2003. And it goes on in much the same vein, talking about her Deal or No Deal days, that she was involved in various productions like A Lot Like Love with Ashton Kutcher, and apparently advocating for racial equality, that she's beauty and brains, that she was working around the world. Much of this we already know, and I'm loath to nauseate you any further with continuing to read directly from this absolute brown-nosing nonsense, which is, of course, just another propaganda piece. It doesn't, of course, settle on the real aspects about Harry's wife's past that we would want to dig up, the allegations of hazing that took place, the suggestion that she glued somebody else's eyes shut, and that compensation had to be paid by way of hush money, the allegations of her being a yacht girl, the suggestion that she was married to somebody before Trevor Engelson, the suggestion that she had an illegitimate child, that has been brought up elsewhere. These and many other aspects of her past haven't been explored here in what is another puff piece, all made to seem like she is God's representative on earth, whereas we all know that she's far more influenced by satanic flavours instead. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.